go in the garage, Ken?
That's pretty good. Changing tyres is easy. It's not that hard when you've got great people behind you like Tyre Power.
What's easier, coaching or changing a tyre?
I don't get as dirty a hands when I'm coaching, but I feel like it sometimes.
What do you get angry at doing?
Oh no, coaching certainly makes me a bit hotter under the collar sometimes. It's a little bit easier out the back there.
Can we deal with your reaction from Monday when you had to deal with Sam Powell-Pepper?
Yeah, look, clearly, Rooch, it's a disappointing thing for us to have to deal with. I mean, it's been a challenge for Chris Davies in particular through the most part of this week, handling the situation. We know now that Sam's gone outside some team trademarks that we'd like to represent, and he's going to pay the price this week.
How has he handled it?
Oh no, Sam's rightly upset, but he should own that. That was some of his, obviously all his work and his decision making, which led him to be in this situation.
Do you develop a concern about the team's culture when you get this sort of moment?
No, I don't. I mean, Rich, to be fair, I mean, I'll read your article, there's some stuff that goes on and you don't wish for it to go on, but you can't control the whole thing. But, some of the stuff that's gone on in our little journey in the most recent history has shown up that some of those players were quite innocent, But this is if you ask me, I don't like it at any stage. We as a club don't like it at any stage, and we do everything we can to make sure we limit any of these things happening to us any time, whether that now or in the future.
So what do you have to work through with Sam to make sure he doesn't put himself in a position like that again?
Oh no, Sam's got to work through with us. He's got to understand his obligation to be a part of the Port Adelaide Football Club, and that's clear for all our players. And I don't say that they won't make mistakes, and they do make mistakes. That's just what they do. Sometimes it's unfortunate, and we would much rather not have it. But Sam needs to learn to work with what we do, and we represent our community, and we represent our community in a proud way. And what Sam did the other night wasn't a proud way.
So what things will he be doing, I suppose, to address the issues that he has at the moment?
Again, he'll work through that with Chris, and there's still some part of this to play out, which I can't comment on, obviously. And Sam, once we get all that detail, we'll work through that. But as it stands right now, Sam's suspended from playing this weekend.
Were there any other players with Sam that night?
No. Sam's incident is Sam alone, and Sam should own that.
Can you have the status of the AFL investigation?
Sorry?
What the status is of the AFL investigation?
Ongoing. That's all I know. Chris Davies and the AFL are working through that as we speak.
I saw Chris Davies in the nightclub question yesterday. Did that paint a clearer picture for you guys as to what didn't happen?
Without dismissing it, I think you have to ask Chris. Unfortunately for me, I'm not involved in that part of the. I've got a job to do, and that's to coach the football team this week.
Is there a concern about the nature of some of the allegations, Ken? I mean, it seems like a little bit more than alcohol. Is there a concern from the club about them?
The allegations are really serious, and to be respectful to everyone involved, I think I should leave it at that space and leave it sorted out through the AFL and Chris, and hopefully then we'll have some more information from that. But again, they're not things that you like to hear from anyone.
Is it a message for the fans out there who might have seen the footage online?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Sam's paying the price today for why he was in the state that he was in. That's not right for any person to be like, and in particular, a fit young footballer who's representing, I keep saying, the community, and that's not the way we want to represent that. And Sam knows that.
Who's going to come in for Sam?
When the team's announced, we'll find out and we'll go through all that, which unfortunately might be a little bit later on tonight.
As a coach, how do you handle a young man who his teammates described as being rattled when it all began? How do you handle his personal and emotional feelings at the moment?
Oh no, Sam owns it. I mean, Sam has to own what the behaviour was, and that's first and foremost. And like any young person, they'll learn from their mistakes. They all do, and that's just part of the journey of life sometimes, Rich. And it's not just in a football club. You make mistakes, you learn from them. But the most important thing about those mistakes, you have to own them. You make those things happen. You make sure you stand up and you own what you've done.
You made a heap of mistakes against Essendon last time. Are you ready to own those and correct them?
Yeah, absolutely we are. But I'm sure Essendon are pretty keen to make sure that we don't. So went over last week and watched their game. Myself and Brendan Lay went over and watched the game of football. We know that Essendon is a significant challenge. We've seen them only 2 weeks ago at Etihad take on Adelaide and beat them there. So we're not confused by the challenge that we've got in front of us. I'm really, as a club, we're really desperate to get over there and get it right.
You paid dearly last time when your midfielders didn't cover enough and they left the defensive space. What do you think you've got to handle that now?
Look, I just hope we're better at handling lots of parts of that game. That game was a real rare occasion for us, even in the whole season of last year. We probably had 2 of those games through the whole season where we were really, really disappointed. We didn't get too much right, and they got everything on their terms. Now, our challenge is to make sure we can slow them down and hold them up and make sure they've not got the speed of ball that they had. And Etihad's really hard to do that on, we understand that. But, I listened to John, and John's talking about them wanting to get clean, open entries into their forward line. that's our job, is to restrict that, obviously.
How's Jasper looking? Pittard, is he close?
Yeah, Jasper will play this week in the Sandful, so that's a great result for us, and really positive from that point of view.
You've said it's week by week in determining what you do in ruck. You've got a handle on what you want to do this week?
Yeah, well, we have got a handle on what we're going to do this week, and we'll do it partially different. We won't change it too much. We won't bring in a ruck, if that's the simple answer. So selection question, we won't bring in a ruck, but we'll make do with what we've got currently in the team.
How far away is Paddy? Is he getting still 3-4 away?
No, he's getting closer, but time frames are really difficult when you're talking about an Achilles injury. But he's due to run. So once he starts running, he won't lose much conditioning, so I wouldn't think it'd be too much further down the track. Hopefully, from my point of view, it's next week, but if it's 2 or 3 weeks, it'll be 2 or 3 weeks.
And Dan's still a fair... I know it's early in the week, but because you've got the Sunday game, but Dan Houston, bit of concussion, wasn't it?
No, Dan's fine. Dan trained today, so he's fine. It was very light what he happened to him in the game last week, so he'll be right to take his place.
When you said you're tinkering a bit, does that mean Charlie Dixon might play more time in the ruck than he did last week?
And that's what we'll have to wait and see.
Come on,
I'll tinker with it. Depends what my toys are doing on that day,
Ken, you're 3-6, but obviously not everything's perfect. Brisbane probably got a bit closer than most of us thought they would. Was that a good reminder, I guess, to the group that, if you're slightly off, it's a
look, it's not so much a reminder. Again, Brisbane were fantastic last week, and this competition, we say it, it's close, it's even, and you're a little bit off there, a little bit. It's going to make it really interesting. I think if you went through our 3 games, we'd say round 1 we were pretty good. Round 2, outstanding. Round 3, we probably weren't as good as we were. Now, was that a reflection of what we were like or what Brisbane did to us? I think that's what you've got to take into consideration.
Ken, there's a few games that Eddie had just recently where it's actually been contrary to the thought that it's a fast deck because of the way the teams have played it. Are you wanting to look at how your team goes when they don't put the full throttle on just playing fast football?
Yeah, we don't want to. I mean, I've always said we like to play entertaining and fast football when we get the opportunity, but not for every minute of every game. It's just not possible to do. Eddie does give you a few challenges in that space. Now, the key to that for us is to keep the pressure on Essendon. If we can keep the game in the space that we want it, and that's in a bit tighter, perhaps that will probably work in our favour, and hopefully get us to play the tempo of football that you need to play.
Last couple of guys. I mean, it's not often you get an incident like Sam's had on the weekend, and then early in the week, your next captain says, "I'm going to hang around for the next couple of years." I mean, it's a bit of a roller coaster sort of couple of days.
It's a footy season. I mean, that's just part of what it is. Sometimes it's not always smooth, and today's fantastic. We're here at Tide Power to get some good news, and I think from my point of view, there's been some small distractions for me through the week, but more for Chris Davies and the team. But predominantly for us, it's business as usual. It's a long season, lots and lots of footy to still play, ready to go. So lots of.
I suppose the Ollie news maybe puts a bit more of a smile on your face that might have been wiped off.
No, I always smile when I talk about Ollie. It's not hard. But he's been fantastic, and as I said, for a good period of time now, we're really comfortable where Ollie's at, and we look forward to a strong and healthy future with him in it.
And to hear him say, it's reassuring for the guys to hear him say it's going to be 2 or 3 years, it's going to be done soon.
I actually haven't heard that, but I'm glad he's saying it.
I'm glad.
I said before, I know the relationship that Ollie has with his teammates, with his coaches, with his with everyone at the footy stuff. I'm not surprised that Ollie would reinforce that.
Thanks, Kenny.